Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Look. Hey, Last in Line Nation. I'm excited, man. Welcome again to another episode of this month's theme for our interview outline called Continuity of Care. And I always like to explain why these names are what they are. And of course, the care is the C.A.R.E. or the bullets of what we're going to cover. But I got to go into our guest real fast. I mean, you guys are going to be in for a treat today because we've got a guy who has pretty much been through and done almost everything when it comes to triumphs, trials, overcoming, victories, setbacks. I mean, we've got the full gamut today and we've got a great story. So I'm going to introduce him. So his name's Adam Jablin. He lives down in Florida with his wife and son, and Adam has helped over thousands of people experience joy for living, as he puts it, while under pressure and difficulty of just everyday life. And he's there as a resource for thousands of people. And he's got a unique energy. I would say positive isn't a big enough word. I think this guy is contagious. He's compassionate and humble for somebody that's done as much as he's done. But, he gives the gift to relating to others that I can already pick up on just in the conversations he and I have had. He's influenced people from all walks of life, leaders, from high health and psychology to entertainment and sports, down to just everyday people like you and me, who fight fears, who fight addictions, specifically alcoholism or drug abuse. And he's got a great story here. But I will tell you, he has written a book, and we're going to get into that as well. But he's got a really cool project that he's created, and I want him to talk more about it because I would never do it justice. But he's helped run multi-million-dollar business and sell it eventually. And I'm telling you, this guy is an enthusiastic advocate, as he puts it, of recovery. And he's been clean and sober since 2006, and that's not nothing. I've got guys out there right now that are listening to this that are probably in that same struggle. So we're going to hear some encouragement from this guy. The Hero Project is his baby, and it's a high level of coaching where you can become the hero of your own life. And Adam walks this out. He locks arms with you and encourages and equips and empowers you. He's also sits on the institutional review board at Hanley Center, which is one of the most successful and highly regarded addiction and recovery treatment programs in the United States. And I tell you what, I'm just going to let him come on and maybe cover some things I didn't cover, but I can't be humble enough to say, Adam, thank you and welcome to the show.
John, thank you so much. What a beautiful intro. If I didn't know myself, I'd be impressed.
Ah, you should be anyway. You should be anyway.
I'm a work in progress. You know what I mean? I'm a
That's
work
right.
in progress, one day at a time. But thank you. That was lovely.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad you made. Thank you for making some time. I know we all have busy schedules, and you've got people you're coaching, and not to mention family that expects your attention, and so we appreciate it. But I just want to make sure I articulate to the audience too, and I don't do this enough, but I sort of take it for granted. But we have a purpose on this show. Like last in line leadership isn't just a dream that came through my intelligence and my strength. Like God gave me the scripture in Mark 9:35 that says, if anyone desires to be first, he must be last of all and servant of all. And so we're talking about servant leadership today and just how to overcome. And our purpose here is, to just equip, empower, and encourage people to identify and utilize their gifts so that they can walk this out. And this show is really designed to give practical tools for people through the perspective and story and lens of our guests that we have. So, Adam, if you're ready, man, we're going to start peeling back the layers of this deal. You ready to dive in?
I'm ready to dive in, brother.
All right. Okay, man. So continuity of care is what the outline's called, and we're going to go through C.A.R.E. We've got 4 bullets here. The first one. So we're going to go right into it, man. We're going to dive right into courage. Courage is a big word. People, I think, struggle with it. So what I'm going to ask Adam to do is tell us kind of how he defines courage, and then give us an example of a time in your life where, you know what, you kind of, like you said earlier, you impressed yourself, and you came through something courageously where you ordinarily would have kind of folded your tent and tucked your tail, but you faced it, the adversity, and you stared it in the eyes. So talk about that, man. Give us something about courage we can walk away with.
Sure. Courage to me, when you were bringing it up, came into my mind in two different ways. The first time I really understood the word and started implementing it was in the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Right?
Mm,
And when you're getting clean and sober, and maybe in most things in life that are very, very difficult, we live in this duality where God will certainly do for you what you can't do for yourself. But there's a flip side to that coin, which is God won't do for you what you can do for yourself. And I think somewhere in the middle of that is where we live life,
mm,
that
mm,
balance. And then also, my father is a cowboy. I don't use it as an adjective. If you could see, he's a cowboy. My father is a cowboy. Um, and, he raised me through his perspective and his lens, and cowboys have courage. I mean, he has John Wayne quotes all over the place about courage is saddling up again.
yeah.
So there's a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth to the cowboy mentality, and there's a lot of truth to the serenity prayer, in which you know the courage is having the grit to change.
Mm, wow.
That's really what it is, and change, there's no pain in change. There
Mm,
really isn't. It's
mm.
our resistance to it.
Yep. Wow.
It's our resistance to it, but there's really no pain in change. Even something as simple as taking a different route on the way home, it's just going to feel awkward. It's going to feel weird. Like, why am I doing it? But
Yeah.
there's no pain in it.
Yep.
you
Yep.
know
That's good.
so I really believe it's resistance, that we're all kind of coming up against, and encourages that fortitude to combat it.
Yeah. So give us a time. Like you've got a story. Take little aspects of your journey and maybe fold them into this outline as we go, and let me know. Talk about a time in your life where you felt like you demonstrated that courage.
Mm, I have too many, unfortunately. I had the courage to surrender and go to rehab. I had to surrender. I had the courage to really participate. I had the courage to jump into this new life that I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know if I had to be baptized. I didn't know if I had to be bar mitzvahed again. I didn't know if I had to be poor. I didn't know if I had to, chant. I didn't know what the hell it looked like. All I knew was this guy was clean and sober, and I jumped in with both feet. You know,
Mm.
I've had the courage to have really, really hard conversations with people I love, and that's the hardest for me. The way I'm wired, that's the hardest thing. I would rather go run 100 miles
Hmm.
to tell somebody that I adore, this isn't this isn't okay.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
Yeah.
And I've been through some challenges that have really, looking back, I always want to make everybody proud of me. But now looking back, I'm proud of me, and that's a really wonderful feeling.
And it's
I
okay too, right? Like people think it's not okay sometimes. We talk ourselves out of it, but it's okay to be proud of yourself.
It is okay to be proud of yourself. I mean,
Hmm.
not in some kind of cocky, arrogant way.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? But more in I'm happy I faced the fire. I'm happy
Right.
I did it. And honestly, I don't know if you feel the same way, John, but I something has happened in my life that all I want to do is face the fires. That's like,
Mm,
and each time I get anxious, and each time I get nervous, and each time it tests my faith, but I have to do it. I have to do it. I can't cower,
mm-hmm. Yep.
you know,
Yep.
every single thing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's not easy, but
Yep.
it really has built a life that's worth living.
That's so good, man. And I think part of our issue and part of mine, I'll speak for me, but part of a lot of people's issue, I believe, is the hypotheticals we create in our head that magnify the fear so much that that's what debilitates us and paralyzes it. Like, I think if we would just kind of drop down, like deflate some of the fearful activities we create in our heads, man, we could walk in more courage than we think. Like, I think we just
Absolutely.
overinflate circumstances to a point of thinking that they're insurmountable or overwhelming. I know that's what I've done before. And when you talked about you just look forward to that next fire you're going to face, it's because you've come out on the other side in the past, so why not now? Why won't I come out now? So I think that's great advice, even though I don't know if you meant for that to be advice, but I think for the audience, I think it's great to take that away and say, bring on the next thing, you know?
Oh, just so you know, everything that
Yeah.
I say is not advice. You know what I
No.
mean? You know, you could take it. You could take me for my word. Maybe you could take it as a suggestion. But
Right.
you know, one of the things that I really love to do with my clients and with anybody in the world is make sure that they understand that there's no hierarchy here.
Yeah.
Maybe what I've noticed is it's a road,
Of
right?
course.
Road. And for a lot of people, I'm further down the road.
Of
So
course.
I can look
Perfect.
back and I can go, stop, make a left.
Perfect.
Okay, make a right. Come, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not higher. So, um, you know, they could take that for what it's worth. But
Yep.
I'd rather be a general in the field, in the military, showing you where the landmines are and going, don't
Yeah.
go here, don't go there, rather than somebody that feels more elevated,
Yep.
you
That's
know?
perfect. That's perfect. And the reason I brought up the word advice is because I was about to ask you, do you have any advice for anybody? And you just kind of gave it without me even asking it. But so that's good, man. I mean, we could probably talk for days about fear and courage and areas where you and I have failed, and now we've figured it out, sort of. We've come down the road a little bit further than we were. But for the audience, let's move on to attitude, because I think they go hand in hand a little bit. But I want to ask you kind of why do you, so tell us how important you feel like attitude is in the whole journey of your day. And then why is it a main component in directing our thoughts and actions, in your opinion?
Attitude is huge. Um, I need to every morning bring myself to a certain baseline just to be Adam Jablin, just to
Mm,
be the man that I want to be.
yeah.
So I need to pray, I need to meditate, I need to journal, and I need to exercise, right?
Hmm.
And that's just to see the guy that you're talking to.
That's right.
That's it,
Yeah.
right? This is not. There's no growth. There's no, there's no scaling, elevating, this, that, helping, service, best dad, best this, best that. No, this is just so you can be with me.
Baseline.
Right? Baseline.
Baseline.
I need to wake up and pray. I need to wake up and meditate. Right. I need to journal and I need to exercise. Other than that, you don't want to see me. You know, you don't want to see me
I
because
can
I'm
relate.
human.
I can
I'm
relate.
human and I'm flawed and
Yep.
I can be impulsive
Yep.
and I can be defensive and I can be, argumentative because
Yep.
I'm not in that right space. I'm not really here with you. I'm in some past trauma. I'm in some past story. I'm in some future argument. I'm not really here,
Yep.
So it takes, this is a daily thing that I have to do, John. Daily.
Hey man, do you have cameras in my house or something? Are you reading my mail? Like, That's my life. What you just described is my life.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many people I talk to that those are the main foundational pillars in their day. It's alone, spiritual time, prayer, journaling, physical exercise. Like those are the things that give them that. Basically, it's like we said, it's the baseline in order
Right?
to walk out the day. It
It's
is.
the baseline. It's the baseline. And I think the more you give, the deeper you have to go. At least that's what I'm finding. I have a dear friend named Michael Diamond. You guys can look him up. One of the most profound coaches out there, number one interventionist in the world, coaches some of the biggest celebrities you've ever met. He needs to wake up. I'm going to use the word need. He needs to wake up at 4 o'clock. He does like 90 minutes of cardio. He trains with weights. He does 20 minutes of breathing. He does 20 minutes of or 30 minutes of meditation. He does an hour of stretching. So he has like a 3.5 hour, 4, 5, 6 set, right? 3.5 hour process for him to get to his baseline because of all of the energy that he gives out. You know what I'm saying?
You got to fill your tank in order to be there for other
Yes.
people. Yeah.
Yes. So, and that just shows me, what's so wonderful about this is anytime I think I've gotten here, God puts somebody in front of me that's gotten there.
Wow.
Right. And it's just, so there's always something more to grow to aspire to. I can't be Michael Diamond, but
I'm exhausted just hearing you talk about it.
Yeah, but
what he does.
But he's amazing, and I have other, Dr. Rob Kelly, this is a guy that's literally saved some of the biggest names in entertainment. I'm not allowed to say
Wow. Sure.
But, let's say the biggest superhero, the biggest rapper. I mean, with HIPAA laws, I can't say it, but people put that together. And what he does every day, the subconscious work. I mean, he'll tell you straight up. And this is a guy clean, sober, believes in God, but also knows the mind, and he'll let you know. You can actually, like, look at John and Adam, right? You can actually have your mind, body, and spirit aligned.
Yep.
But you don't know what's going on behind the subcortex and the subconscious. The subconscious is not the mind, it's not the body, and it's not the spirit. So you can have the Holy Trinity there aligned, right? But in your head, in the back of your head, if you're saying, I'm a piece of garbage, I'm a piece of garbage, I'm a fraud, I'm a fraud, I don't belong here, I hate her, I hate this.
Wow.
Right? But meanwhile, you're having this presentation because you prayed, you've meditated, you've journaled, you've exercised, well, you went to church, you went to synagogue, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But back here, so there's just so many levels to this, this thing that you and I call faith.
Yeah. Well, it's good though that you mentioned, because there are several components, and some of it we can check the box on, but some of it, the real us is still there if we don't dive into what's really the root cause of certain things. And that does kind of fit with with attitude. It fits completely, because our attitude depends on how we begin the day. And you're talking about people with varying degrees of need. And those people you just mentioned are at least self-aware enough and courageous enough to acknowledge, okay, this is what I am. This is what I need. If I don't do this, I'm no good to anybody for the next 23 hours or 22 hours. So it's awesome, because their attitude is, I'm going to do this because somebody needs me. Right? So somebody's listening right now that's going, wow, that's unattainable, but I can start here because this is what I know I am, and this is what I know I need. Start with one step. Like marathon runners don't start out marathon runners. They start out with walking around the block probably. And so I encourage people, start with where you are, understand what you need. Your attitude is a component that's going to direct you throughout the entire day. And you got to check in with yourself throughout the day. It's not a one-shot silver bullet. You understand? Like, it's not a one-time wonder.
I mean, look, Jesus said it really simple. If you believe in Jesus, if you don't, You believe he's the Messiah. If you don't, it's up to you. But no matter what, this guy was revered. You know what I mean? This
Yeah.
guy
Oh yeah.
is an important figure in many people's lives, no matter what you think of him. You
Oh yeah.
know. So he said, they asked him what the three holiest commandments were. I'm going to butcher Jesus's words. He's fine with it, and
He
he said
is.
basically, love your God with all your heart, love and soul. Love your neighbor as yourself, and love yourself.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, if you do those three things, you know, love your neighbor as yourself. He didn't say love yourself. He said love your neighbor as yourself. As in
Correct.
that one line, there's two things.
Yeah.
So in doing all of that, that's really what we just broke down. Like
Right.
I gotta wake up. I gotta pray. I gotta meditate. I gotta journal. Right. I gotta love God. I mean, I'm getting my juice now. I have something to give away. Right
Yep.
now, I have something to give, and in doing that, in return, I get the love. You know,
Yep.
but I
Perfect.
am not as I don't walk on water.
Yeah.
So
Oh
it
yeah.
takes me about 30 minutes to explain what this guy could say in 3 sentences. You
I'm
know what
telling
I
you, brother.
mean?
Hey, you're spot on though. I love where you're going with that. And I mean you can't argue with what you just said. And you can't love yourself if you don't know, like you can't love others if you don't love yourself, like you're saying, but you can't love yourself if you don't get in line with some of this stuff and figure out, this is what I need to fuel. This is the fuel I need. Identify the fuel, get it in you, then you can go out and be the fuel for other people. So I think that's perfect what you just said. Well, then let's move on. Like this whole out, like we're talking about continuity of care. And what I didn't frame was the word continuity when we started. That just means consistency, continuous regimens of discipline, the C.A.R.E, courage, attitude, resilience, and empowerment. Those are the four things we're going to talk about. And so continuity just means staying consistent, seamless, get this thing figured out where it's repetitive. We're doing the right reps every day. And these four things I think are pivotal in how we do that. So the next one's resilience. Um, Man, I know we're on the clock today, but I bet you could talk for a little bit about resilience. I bet you have sort of a perspective on resilience. Can
Sure.
you give us just a brief snapshot of your journey? And I know we talked about, clean and sober, addiction, that kind of. Can you give us a little bit of that journey, a little picture? Because I know it's probably a lot longer story than we have, but can you give the
Yeah, I
audience
mean,
something?
sure. I think resilience is a wonderful word. I love how you use care. I think it's good. It makes people understand. It breaks it down. It makes things easy to process and digest, and for people to remember. You know, resilience is it's a tricky word because I could explain it in so many different ways, but really look, it's just hanging in there when you really want to fold, and there have been many times in my life where I just wanted the easy way. I just come on, like I just want it to be easier,
Yeah.
like, and but I didn't. I faced it. I faced
Mm-hmm.
it, and for somebody like me, and I can't. I wish I could give this to everybody. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. I get addicted to the process because I'm an addictive personality. So once I face the fire, I can't stop. I mean, I can't stop. It's a and the resilience is to not go back,
Mhm. Mhm.
to just stay in for a little bit longer. And John, honestly, I gotta be honest with you. For me, it's the sensitive, emotional, deep conversations with people that I love that I don't want to have. That for me, the
Yeah.
way I'm wired, that's the work. Some people that's easy. I
Mm.
could talk about that stuff all day. I just can't eat right or go to the gym. That everybody's wired differently.
Yeah.
You know, me to eat right and train and that's like easy.
Yeah.
That's a part of my DNA almost. But to sit down and to possibly hurt, disappoint, break relationships, say this
Mhm.
isn't serving me anymore.
Wow.
You know, for me, these are very, very difficult things to do. And I've done them over and over and over. And that has made me resilient,
Yeah. Well, that's,
you know? And it
basically
doesn't mean I don't get nervous.
yeah.
Doesn't mean I don't get butterflies in my
Sure.
stomach.
Sure. But I
But
think what I hear you say is that resilience is doing things that are uncomfortable when you don't want to do them. Like when your flesh says, I can't, or I won't, or I don't wanna, I mean, you've been resilient. What goes without saying to overcome addictions of substances and abuse, the resilience has got to be there. And that's probably a daily walk too. I don't know what it's like to be in that skin, but I would say that's a daily journey to fight that for
I
some
would say the
people.
resilience, and you'll get this, even though you're not an alcoholic and an addict, the resilience is to do the work that you and I did because I got blessed, and many, many of us do. God removes the obsession,
Mm,
right? Okay,
yeah,
so God takes it away. Imagine
yeah,
that. So
yeah,
whatever you have a pain in God, but now what?
yeah,
Right?
yep,
Now, okay, so now I'm left with me,
right.
right? I don't want to drink. I don't want to drug, but now I'm left with this freaking thing that doesn't shut up.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh yeah.
not I'm not
Oh
my
yeah.
dad,
All the lies,
the
man.
wife,
All the lies. Yep.
money, finances, right? So
Yep.
now what? Now I can't have a cocktail to shut that up.
Yep.
I can't. How do I?
Wow.
You know what I mean? And this is when the resilience comes.
That's
It's
right.
you know what I mean? Because
That's
I
right.
need to learn to live a
Replace it.
sober life, sound, calm, clear,
Yep.
strong.
Yep. Yep.
No, but God removes it. I can't ever tell anyone I quit alcohol and drugs. That would be so grandiose.
Sure. Sure. But you had to yield to something bigger than yourself in order to be able to overcome that.
You know, I personally don't shy away from the word God or source.
Sure.
Or, you know, I you
Yep.
know, if people get turned off, then they got the
No,
wrong guy.
I'm not worried about it. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what I
They're
mean?
watching the wrong show if
They
that's
got the
where.
wrong guy. They got the wrong guy. But yeah, you know, and look, I needed, I needed alcoholism and addiction to find God in my life. I
Mm,
didn't really have him before. You know, he was there, but
yeah.
I was doing my own thing. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yep.
yeah,
So, well, I mean, that's an awesome example. And we talk, we got the way we're going here with resilience. I mean, I, I feel like, so somebody listening right now is walking through something.
hmm
Okay. They feel like they don't necessarily have that chip within themselves to overcome. Give them a couple of sentences or something, something that you feel like you can encourage them to, that says you do have it. And here's how you get through this. Give
take
them
it.
something simple without
I hope
knowing like what they're going through. Of course, that's a big deal too.
I hope this doesn't sound like a plug. It's not. Um, Sometimes this is why people hire me. This is why people
Sure,
hire a coach
sure, sure.
or find a mentor or look, the some of us, someone like myself, excuse me, I should say, always own everything, right? Come up, grow up with this somewhere, find this story in themselves where they think they need to find all the answers on themselves and
Hmm.
they need to do it all on their own. And it's the
Yeah,
craziest, stupidest thing I've ever. I don't know where I came up with that idea. You know, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant had Phil Jackson. The Pope has a clergy. The president has a council. Every single person that I've ever admired and respected has an outside reference to their life, an
yep,
outside
yep.
information perspective. But I didn't. I'm like, tunnel vision. You know what I mean?
Pride. Yep, me
Pride.
too.
Pride.
Yep,
So
yep.
what's the one thing I would say? Find somebody you can share with and that you can emulate and that you can that can give you the encouragement and the enthusiasm that you can do it.
Yeah. That's
Because
good.
so many of us can't find it within, or we do it.
Yep.
And that's why I like talking to people and making them and building them up, because I like crediting who they really, your pride. Ask somebody for help. Ask somebody how you did that. If you have some debt and you see somebody that's in your life that doesn't have debt, right? Have
Yeah.
the courage to say,
Sure.
can I talk to you privately?
Yep. Yep. You got to
You know,
take a step. Yep. Got to take that step.
can I talk to you privately?
Yep.
Here's the truth.
Yep.
COVID, we've been overspending the credit cards here, blah, blah, blah. I don't know where to even start,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
even with my mentors, right? And the people that have raised me beyond the people that have taught me, I always come into it. And this is me now, like I'm in kindergarten.
Mm.
I'm like, you need to break this down for me like I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I come
Absolutely.
with that kind of humility.
Good
Break,
word.
because I need to be able to break it down, digest it, process it, and then hopefully, John, give it to another person.
Yeah.
So that means I can't come in with any preconceived notions of you think I know what's about to go. Like I come in as a blank slate, and I need you to speak to me like that.
Right. Right.
I need you to speak to me like print out the credit card receipt, or
Yeah.
bring the food to the table, like
Yeah.
little things.
Yeah. Don't assume I know anything.
Don't
Yeah.
assume I know a thing,
Yeah.
because I'll screw
Well,
it up.
exactly. And I like the word you use, humility. That's a big factor in all that. So, I mean, let's go through the very last one, and how I think is worthy of closing out this outline. I mean, we got C.A.R.E. and now we're at the E, which is empowerment. And I think that's huge. And this is probably right in your wheelhouse, because as a coach, and I want you to whet the listeners' appetites a little bit about some of the things you offer, because that might, without giving it away, and because I know this is your livelihood. So I want you to maybe whet their appetite a little.
I can give it all away, man, and I'll tell you what.
Man, just
I'll
talk
tell
to
you
them
what.
about empowerment, how you do that with people.
Let me tell you why I am not afraid to explain anything I do at all, right? Because I could also tell you how to be an Navy SEAL.
Hmm.
Go do it.
Sure.
Go pass the test, get the physical, da 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 da. Sign up, get involved, ship
Yeah.
away, right? Go through Hell Week. Don't ring the bell. Blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah.
I'll tell you the whole hero project. I could care less. Come do it. You want to change? I'll give you my workout. I'll give you my nutrition. Go do it.
Mm. Right.
Empowerment.
There's a
You know what I
difference.
mean?
Yeah.
Like,
There's a difference. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I could tell them. I could tell anybody anything all day. Right? The empowerment is having that fortitude within to actually do it.
Right.
To
Right.
actually do it.
So okay, so give me one thing. What's the thing that you give people what's the best in coaching you give that you see the most people actually have no problem walking that out? Like, what's the thing that's most tangible to people that you see applied the best? What's the most
Truth.
common thing? Yeah.
The most common thing is, and it's the way we start, is somebody finally sitting down with me and saying their story. Everybody has a birthday, a mom or dad, maybe, you know what I mean? Brothers, sisters, insecurities, fears, past traumas, first girlfriend, first boyfriend, first kiss, first drink, first drug, first time at church, first high school memory, first sport, first
Yeah.
college experience, first car accident. Somebody gets to finally purge and vent and get their whole story out.
Mm.
This is who I am, with no judgment. Now we can build.
There you go. Wow.
Now we can go.
Tell us where you got. Yeah, tell me about how the name, the Hero Project. Then talk about Talk about that, because I see it on your hat and I want to know about the story behind it. I know there's always a
Yeah,
story.
well, it's cornier than you think. I'm a big, big Superman freak. But literally, the day I was born, my mom had me in the S, and my uncle was a big Superman guy. So Superman was a theme throughout my life. Right now,
Yeah.
I had it backwards, and I thought I had to always play my skills down very, very low and be mild mannered Clark Kent, and but build these muscles up, right? But basically, what I built was I took Superman's story, I screwed it up, and I made a very passive aggressive guy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't about the muscles and it wasn't about the powers. Superman saves lives. You know, and that's a big part of my recovery is to help people live and to help save their life. So in treatment where I went, we would all hold hands after, say a prayer, and they built it in that circle. We would always talk about the circle, how we're stronger together. So the circle is the unity, right?
Uh-huh.
The symbol here is the shield, is the Superman shield.
Yep.
And truly, it just was. I didn't want it to be the superhero project. I didn't want it to be the Superman project. I didn't want it to be a program. I'm personally a big advocate and believer in 12-step fellowships. I think P90X is a good program, right? You do chest and back on Monday, you do shoulders and arms on Wednesday, you do legs and back and front. So, right, you go to a CrossFit, here's the program, right? But a program means that we're all on the same program,
Sure.
right? But a project is not. A project's like if you want to build your own house and you find the architect and you design the rooms and you figure out where you want the fridge and you figure out what it's a project. It's growing. It's individual.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't have a cookie cutter system because I'm not a cookie cutter guy. You know, how can I have a cookie cutter system if the very first thing we're ever going to talk about is your story?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, everything's customizable in life. I mean, why wouldn't your get better program or project about yourself be customizable? Because you're different. I mean, I consider everybody, a snowflake. There's no one like it. So you gotta customize somebody's program or project or improvement plan. You gotta customize it.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Look, you said it perfectly. You could say a customized program and that could be a project, but I wanted to be clear, right?
Yep.
And I wanted them to understand, whoever is attracted to it, that's them, that they're the hero of this. The project is them.
Yeah.
Turning them into the hero, transforming them from Clark Kent to Superman, from Bruce Wayne to Batman, from Tony Stark to Iron Man, from Robert Downey Jr., cracked out alcoholic addict, what happened to his career, to the #1 movie star in the world. Yeah, right? That transformation is possible for everybody. Everybody.
Wow.
You know?
That's so
people, the younger generation know Robert Downey Jr. now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They don't remember when he fell asleep in the bedroom with a little girl, because he was, you know what I mean? And him not being able to surrender and going to prison and mocking the system and thinking everybody was full of it and everyone looking at him like he's the greatest actor. What is he doing? And going on a show, Ally McBeal, and then ruining that, and him coming out and being like, I've destroyed my life. What do I do now?
Right.
And then slowly, little by slowly, taking little roles, winning people's trust back, taking roles he probably didn't even want.
Yep.
And doing the work and staying clean and sober and helping other people. And then it all came together, It all came together. So if you know him now, you missed a big part of the story.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, I mean, that answered exactly, like you even answered some stuff in there that I wanted to ask that I didn't. Like you gave a complete empowerment picture. and there's somebody listening to this show that got it, and now they see that they do have that hero in them, and they do have that story to tell, but it's just a matter of telling it and then patching up the spots where the holes are, and letting God come in first, and really is the true empowerment component. But man, I've enjoyed this because I feel like we get in our own way when it comes to empowerment. Like, you would agree, I'm sure, that we overcomplicate, and then we disqualify ourselves unjustifiably. And then we're stuck in this quicksand of, well, I can't get out of this. I don't know how to empower myself, whatever the story is. But it's in there in everybody. You've just got to sort of unlock that within you. And somebody like Adam, everybody's got somebody probably in their life similar to Adam that they need to reach out to, that they need to incorporate and empower them to empower you. So I don't know, Adam, you got any other closing? And I want to know, obviously, I want to know where they can find your resources before
Sure.
we close this out. And I want to, maybe you have a parting
Yeah.
parting nugget for these folks.
Well, okay. So you can look at me. My name is Adam Jablin, ADAMJABLIN. You can find me on my website. You can find me on Facebook under my name. You can find me on Instagram under my name. I have a free online course called the Hero 7, where you get a video every day,
Mm-hmm.
7 videos. So just one video every day, basically spiritual in nature, building up how the 7 principles that I kind of guide my life by, and many of my clients do. I also am going to have a Hero 30 challenge coming up next month on Facebook that we're really excited about. And my departing nugget would be, please, one of the biggest things that I found in my life, you don't have to be religious or spiritual in nature to even get this, although it could help, is do not confuse love and approval. That would be because I was I had it confused for a long time, and I was trying to get people's approval all the time because I thought it was love,
Mm.
and it's not. I will
Wow.
always love my kids, always. I will not approve of every decision they make.
Yep.
That's a fact.
Yep.
Because, and if they make every decision right, that's scary. That's even scarier.
Yep.
So, that would be my departing thing. Do not confuse love and approval. Don't go to church because you want to be approved by the people in the church, by the priest, by your wife, you go for the love.
Yeah. That's so
Don't do
good.
don't do this. Don't seek this attention because you think it's love.
That's good. That's
You
real
know,
good. Because I mean, that's a misconception. I think people mislabel that and misidentify that. And you're right on. That's a great parting shot. So, audience, man, we've heard it all, and we've heard a lot of good, empowering, equipping, encouraging stuff, which is right in line with the theme of this show. You know how to reach Adam Jablin. Reach out to him. I think you might be pleasantly surprised to know that this guy will hit you right back. Like, he will contact you, you contact him. He's just a guy. And I think he would say that about himself too, but he's done extraordinary things, and he can help you do them as well. So I think, I hope you got some notes. I hope you got something today you can walk away with starting now that you can implement. Just one little thing. Start your day. We talked about courage, attitude, resilience, and empowerment. Start your day out right. I think you heard him say, just to get the baseline, we have to do these things to start the day. And so acknowledge what your baseline is, put things in place that you can implement right now, and watch how God blesses it, and watch how God expands your capacity for growth. So until next time, be blessed.